All right, we'd much rather be teeing off at Shadow Lakes or maybe the Fox Chapel Golf Club, or I'd much rather be going, hey, I know Bob Ford. Can I at least get something to eat here? Wouldn't it be nice to just be at a golf course today watching the U.S. Open? But before we do anything, I mentioned Bob Ford. It was a big week for him, Mr. Dvorak. The Bobby Jones award-winning Bob Ford, and now the official starter of every U.S. Open through infinity. Let's just say congratulations to him one more time.
Yeah, doing a little comment in the air, too. Yeah, good on him, man. He was a tremendous pro out at Oakmont, just a great ambassador for the game. Couldn't be happy for him. And, of course, my favorite hole at Oakmont, the 19th.
Absolutely. Talk about Bob Ford. He's been a big part of this program, and I didn't want the day to get away from us without talking about the Bob Jones award-winning Bob Ford.
Yeah, it's great because he's such an ambassador, not only for the golf game, but for the golf game in Western Pennsylvania, and for the club at Oakmont, which is just the most wonderful place to play golf. And probably with the tournament, the low scores that are going on at this event gives Oakmont a little bit more cachet as you go, because of how high quality that golf course always is. They made a lot of improvements from '94 until the new U.S. Open, taking out all those trees, which made it reminiscent of this golf course. When you see the overhead shot, you got no trees on this course either. It looks kind of funky that way, but this course does not live up to an Oakmont.
Real quick story. Years ago, when we were doing a lot of stuff with Dick's Sporting Goods, and we were going out and doing broadcasts and what have you, I'll never forget one time I saw Mr. Stack there, the guy behind Dick's Sporting Goods, holding some clubs, looking at clubs. And I thought the guy's game of golf, I don't know how good it is, but his passion for the game is definitely there. That sporting goods store started many years ago by family members, including his father, and they were all about the outdoors and fishing and hunting and what have you. But because of what he has done in the next generation, people that love the game of golf are getting their hands on great equipment there, and now that they own Golf Galaxy, that would have never been possible. So you really can play the game of golf at a high level by getting the best equipment with all seriousness, at reasonable rates.
Well, I put my money into a lot of golf equipment, Rob, and it doesn't get anywhere near as good as it should.
There was a time you'd never been able to get your hands on such a huge volume and inventory of golf that you can now in this region, and that's a benefit for the game and for people who play in this region.
This message brought to you by Golf World.
No, Golf Galaxy. Get it right.
Oh, sorry.
But you know what I'm saying, Bob.
Yeah. Well, the biggest change in the equipment is the ball itself. It's how explosive it is. The compression factors and the coefficient of restitution, and pair that with a plutonium driver, man, you can.
And all those things, when you couple that with hitting a 3-wood 295 yards and stopping it on a hard green, that's
guys
impressive.
can't stop it with a wedge, and this guy's stopping it with a 3-wood.
He's talking about Tiger and the Nike ball, and that was great theater, no doubt. Justin Thomas became the fifth player to shoot a 63 U.S. Open, trails Brian Harmon by one heading into the final round. Erin Hills, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen, FS1 later today, you can watch all the coverage, but earlier it was Alex Childs talking about who is within striking distance to win this thing. Here's what he had to say on KDK.
I don't know that anyone anticipated such low scores from so many people, and then also, as you mentioned, the three highest ranked players not actually making the cut, especially since it seems so viable for them with the wide open fairways. And I'm still really impressed with how low the scores are. It doesn't seem like a U.S. Open. Seems more like a regular PGA Tour event. But either way, it's a U.S. Open, so it's impressive with all the scoring.
All right, Justin Thomas, as we mentioned, with that 63 at 11 under, one behind Harmon, along with Fleetwood and Brooks Koepka. They, ladies and gentlemen, are within striking distance, and the way he strikes the ball, I think Koepka's got a real shot.
I'm playing really well. I feel pretty confident, and I'm excited, driving the ball really well. It's not Sunday afternoon. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you're not going to win it today. Just keep plugging along and try to do the best you can.
But you've got guys like Soo-Woo Kim who are at 9 under, so can anyone win this thing?
I think anyone within 4 to 5 strokes of the lead. It's always something interesting when you hear the broadcasters and former players talk about posting a score early enough, and you just mentioned about the pressure. I think in this instance, someone that could do that, possibly the golf course gets a little bit firmer, that may cause some strain and maybe some changes.
All right, in closing, so how do you think this thing unfolds today?
Oh man, it's so hard to predict because of the winds and what supposedly wind going to be kicking up. Bob, I don't think that anybody's going to shoot a real low score. I think you're going to see somebody more survive than shoot some crazy low score.
I like Ricky Fowler for some reason.
Yeah, be nice.
Hanging around, and he's been there before. A new course, don't know how it's going to play. Relatively new names at the top. How are they going to react to U.S. Open pressure? Very unpredictable today. It might be time to just sit back in the old Barco Lounger and crush a couple.
Bob, did you happen to notice that Butch Harmon had a conversation with Ricky Fowler at the beginning of the season? He said, "Do you want to be a Kardashian or do you want to be a golfer?"
Wow.
And he was telling me basically, you got to get off all that social media and concentrate more on being a golfer than being a celebrity. And maybe that's kind of one of
Are you
the.
talking about the golfer or other people who do that?
Pirates
too?
today, Jameson time. We're going to leave on this note. On the hill, they win yesterday. Andrew McCutcheon has been on fire, hits a homer. Polanco hits a homer. 7 strong innings from Ivan Nova. 31-36. They're 5 behind Milwaukee. I still love Pirate baseball and where they are. And you know what? They're in the hunt. And that's a good thing.
They are in the hunt, and keep an eye. Josh Bell is playing some really good defense at first base right now.
What
He's
an
actually
articulate
come a long
young
way.
kid, too. Real good kid. Go ahead. Pirates.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true journalist, always looking for that silver lining.
No, the dark cloud behind
Oh,
everything. Yeah.
okay. I don't subscribe to that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
I don't either.
Bob Dvorak, the author of Drive On, great gift for Dad on Dad's Day. And Greg Dalis, in case your dad has one too many, give him a call, ladies and gentlemen. He's always standing by.
Bobby took on a new role, Rob. He's the resident grump now. You know.
I know, he lost weight. You turn
the
have a
resident
pizza.
grump.
Smile a little bit, will you?
No.
Okay. I'm done, folks. for
Don't
the
tell
day.
me what to do.
I'm done for the day. I'm going to go watch the National Geographic channel.
Well, right,
And the flight of the
yeah.
hummingbird
Sure,
today.
Paradise
Wow.
Island or something.
So, bye. Have a great day. Thanks to the Bambino for shooting this. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.